Hi guys, hey, this is Nat from snowdroponline.com. Just wanted to quickly come and have a chat with you guys and talk about a story that's been in the news about a club in London called Dstrkt, and the headline has been that they're in the news because their door policy is not to allow girls that they consider to be too dark and too overweight. So that's sort of like been the headline. I think it's created a very interesting conversation, and this is one of those stories that shows the power of social media and how a story can sort of organically become viral and sort of like catch on, not just locally in a city but everywhere across the world. Okay, so last week Sunday I saw something on my Instagram timeline, and it was from Kojo. Kojo's a comedian in London, and he used to be a radio presenter, and he was reposting something from someone else which showed messages, and from the messages it appeared that this girl had been invited to a club called to Dstrkt, and when she got there with her friends, the promoter told her that the friends couldn't get in because allegedly the manager say that the girls were too dark and they were overweight. If you have a chance to Google the story, you'll see a picture of the girls. They are beautiful girls. I mean, they're definitely not overweight at all. They're beautiful chocolate girls. I believe the other two girls were biracial, and they, interestingly, were the ones who were told that they can get into the club but the other girls can't. And it's also been reported that they were asked to go across the road so that the manager can have a look, can see what they look like through the CCTV. So yeah, so I think they were told they can't get in. So it's created an interesting conversation, and I think the conversation has been in sort of like many different stages and many different forms. So there's people that have been focused on Dstrkt itself, and you know, trying to put pressure on Dstrkt to make a comment, and just basically saying, Dstrkt, shame on you. And I think that's fine, that's important, but the other conversation which I've seen online is it's bigger than Dstrkt. So when I heard the story, I was not surprised. I literally was not surprised. Many years ago, I used to work in the West End, in a certain place where we basically had customers, and some of the customers were these big clubs, West End clubs, so we were used to interacting with them, and you know, it was very clear that they had a certain, you know, it's an unwritten rule that they literally just want Hollywood type of girls, so that the type of guys who come into the club are basically they're going there to get the hot girls, and they're really trying to get high earners to go into this club. So they're trying to get the football players, the Lewis Hamiltons. Interestingly, he was at Dstrkt last week. So they're trying to get that caliber of guys primarily, and I think they don't look at the girls who enter into the club as an opportunity to they don't look at them from an economic point of view in terms of what their spending power is. I think it's very based on, you know, we want guys who have this certain amount of wealth because and we want to be able to entertain them and create an environment where they want to stay. So like I said, the conversation for me, I think, is bigger than this one club. This is something that goes on in those clubs, and it's bigger than just a club for me. So there's a number of things. I think it's just we've identified with this particular example, you know, we've identified that, okay, these type of clubs don't want people who perhaps look like me to enter. That's fine. I mean, on a personal level, I'm more for Netflix kind of girl because their door policy is very flexible. so I don't care too much about this. But I think what's been important is for people to realize, you know, that these are businesses who have these very, I would say, very almost repressive policies, to be honest with you. And I think it needs to get people thinking, you know, do I want to support this or not? People have also focused on the racism aspect, which I do agree that yes, there is racism, but I do think the deeper issue is colorism, because when we just simply focus the conversation on racism, it possibly can weaken the argument, because unfortunately a significant amount of the people involved, you know, with these clubs, the managers, marketing managers, promoters, are black or biracial or of color in some way. So, and they're the ones who perhaps are enforcing these, you know, these policies. And the issue is really a colorism issue. So if you're saying you don't want someone that's too dark, too overweight, so I guess it's colorism and almost sort of there's this look that is accepted. Me and my friends joke around and we call it sort of like the Instagram model look. That's sort of like the girls who are prototypes of Kim Kardashian, and there's nothing wrong with Kim. She's beautiful, but I'm sure you've seen this, that literally if you go on Instagram, 40% of the girls are interchangeable. They have the same hair, same type of outfits. There's a certain look that I guess is being put on a pedestal. And again, there's nothing wrong with people's preferences. That's absolutely fine. But I think we need to start thinking more about this, and what does that mean in other situations, in the workplace or in opportunities if you work in entertainment, and this is something that has been going on for a very, very, very long time, and I think it's this situation has created that conversation where people are like, okay, I hadn't really realized that that there's this thing going on, this thing that's just bigger than, you know, a certain club having a certain policy, but it just goes beyond that. I was speaking to someone a few days ago, and they said, well, you know, this is a club, they have a commercial objective, they have the right to let in whoever they think will help them. And, you know, I said, okay, fair enough. That's an argument that you can make. But again, it's good to kind of expose that. And because like I said, I do think that they sort of are objectifying the women. So they're not looking at how much money that particular girl can spend, but it's like, okay, will this particular girl, you know, create the spectacle that we're looking for, and will we be able to, you know, post this girl on our website and Instagram and potentially use her for marketing purposes. That's really what it is. It's using the girls for marketing purposes. But again, like I said, I think it's deep. It's more complicated than racism, because when we say racism, we simplify the argument, and I think we lose people along the way. It's a colorism issue, and it's the fact that there's a certain type of black girl that is accepted, and interestingly enough, I do think it probably goes beyond race as well. I do think it will be interesting to see if other people come out with stories who, you know, other girls who may not fit a certain look, if they have those stories. But again, you know, it's been an interesting conversation, and I like the awakening that people are having, that, you know, people realizing that, you know, I actually don't have to keep up with the Joneses. I don't have to go to these type of places. You know, I can go to a place where I'm celebrated. I don't need to spend so much money buying an outfit, trying to impress people, and going to a place where they don't want me. That's really what it comes down to. But again, I thought it was a very interesting conversation. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that this is racism? A. Do you think that Dstrkt should come out and say anything, or should they just ignore it as they have been now? And also, do you think that do you think they have the right? Do you think businesses have the right to let in whoever they want? I'll be interested to hear what your thoughts are. So if you could leave the comments at the bottom, let's just start a conversation. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, it's a very, very interesting thing, and it'll be great to hear what you think. Thank you.